Right, boys, both you listen to me. You both know the rules, you obey my commands all the time. And I tell you to break cleanly, step back, throw no punches. Watch your edge, gentlemen, and most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Shake hands. Gum shield, ready to go. Gum shield, ready to go.
Second out, round one.
So welcome to the first contest here inside the BT boxing bubble. A former BOXXER champion, Mikael Lawal. I'm Steve Bunsen at ringside here with former two-weight world champion Paulie Malignaggi. Welcome to viewers both on BT Sport and ITV4. This is 6 3-minute rounds at the top of the cruiserweight division. So Paulie, first observations on the silence. 30 seconds in, no noise.
No noise, but you can hear Lawal trying to pump that jab, trying to establish that distance, and he's done a good job of it so far. But both guys not shy to throw big shots. There's no feel out in this first round, I'll tell you.
We've seen that an awful lot in these COVID times, in these lockdown fights, Paulie. Guys not messing around, not feeling their way. And of course, you'd think it'd be different. You'd think the crowd would make them move faster. I don't know what it is. They just get in there in these silent arenas all over Great Britain and they let their punches go.
You know what it is, Bunty? I think sometimes you kind of wait for the crowd to motivate you, to kind of push you. And I think these guys, big shots thrown there by Lawal. I think you know, these guys go in there already knowing they're not going to be able to rely on the crowd, and maybe it kind of makes a switch on in their brain to get started faster.
These two know each other. They have sparred, and never quite sure how many rounds they have sparred. He's loading up Lawal, which I kind of expected. That's what he does. Yeah,
Lawal's known as a big puncher, but he's digging to the body. You know, it's once you're at that range, you know, you can dig those shots to the body. The head is sometimes a little bit tougher to hit clean. You got guys can roll, guys can slip the shots, but at that close range, you see Lawal not scared to get in there, dig those body shots.
Well, Jervier's tough. Jervier's hard, and in all fairness, there is maybe a little bit of flesh, and that's what Lawal is targeting. That's what Lawal's looking for. Look, in all fairness, those short lefts he's throwing to the body, they're good shots. The right hands he's throwing to the head, not to the head, they're just to the gloves. They're just going to loosen up those gloves, hopefully, in a couple of rounds. That's what I see. When I see rights like that, they're just loosening up the gloves.
Yeah, but you know what? I see some poise on the part of Jervier as well. You know, he's making sure not to get hit clean. He's making sure to keep a tight guard. Lawal is throwing some big shots, and credit to Lawal, that's what he does. But Jervier's done a good job of not taking them at least cleanly. Some of them have missed, and some of them have been on the gloves. Now, am I saying he's winning the round? No, he's got to get busy to win the round. But however, Jervier has kind of been able to deflect some of the danger off by having that high guard and not getting hit cleanly.
And there's no panic in Jervier. You know, he's a seasoned man. He's a 39-year-old man. He's a tough man. He's a tough campaigner. He's been around, even if he turned pro when he was getting on in age.
Lawal showing some speed there. I'll tell you, Lawal known to sit down on those shots and known to really dig in there and hit hard, but he shows some speed there. When he wants to move his hands, the speed is there. He just seems to focus more. Oh, nice counter hook by
left his feet there, in all fairness, then, Paulie.
Yeah.
So the end of the first round there, Paulie, a straightforward first round, very easy round to score for Lawal. Landed with what he liked. Didn't trouble Jervier, but landed with what he liked.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he got the momentum going.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
There's some body shot there. There's some action from that first round. Digging body shots by Lawal, and he got in some very good body shots in that first round. Some good digging body shots, and it may lower the guard of Jervier. Jervier with that high guard will sometimes expose the body, and Lawal can take advantage.
A simple round there for Mikael Lawal. Round one here inside the BT bubble.
But I tell you, Jervier did something at the end of that first round. You know, he kind of, and he shows that Lawal can be aggressive, but with a veteran like Jervier, if you get too overly aggressive, he'll kind of walk you into something. And at the end of that first round, Lawal kind of got too comfortable digging in, and Jervier had a nice catch and shoot left with the left hook. So he keeps you honest. Jervier may not be busy, but he keeps you honest.
See, when you're fighting a guy like Jervier, okay, there's plenty of losses on his record, the 19 losses, the 13 losses, but he is tough, he is strong. And the worst thing you can do as a young fighter, as an ambitious fighter, is try and take him out. As soon as you start showing him shots, Paulie, that's when he starts relaxing.
And that's why they call journeymen. You know, they've had the journey around the sport of boxing, around the business. They've been in there with so many guys, and they kind of know their way around the ring very well. So they know they're not going to. Oh, nice little sharp right hand by Lawal. They know they're not going to get in there and be the busiest guy, but they'll make you pay if you overexert yourself.
And there's a version of journeyman, and I'd put Jervier in that category. It's guys that have still got some ambition. They're not just flying every 7 days, getting in a ring somewhere else in the country, losing without throwing a punch, losing without ambition. You know, I still sense that Jervier has that degree of ambition.
You know what, Bunty? I don't even consider guys who don't throw a punch journeyman. I think from my definition of a journeyman is a guy who knows his way around the ring. He knows how to stay in there. Yes, guys who go out not throwing a punch. For me, they're just survivors. Yeah. You know, I think they're less than journeymen. I think journeymen they hold a solid place within boxing. You need them. They're actually teachers of the prospect.
Sometimes, Paul, even though you're only a whippersnapper, sometimes you give yourself away because that's an old head. If I said that, people would say, there he is, battling on again about stuff that happened in 1950s. I wasn't even born in 1950. That was a classic example there. I don't know if you saw that there. Lawal throws a massive big right hand. He shows it a mile off, and Jervier's 6 feet away by the time it swings in front of his face. He's got to pick his punch. He's been a little bit more patient, perhaps, Lawal.
And that's the thing. Lawal, known as a big puncher, and he knows he's a big puncher. So sometimes with the big punch, nice little straight right hand to the body. Lawal's dug some good body shots, but the thing about being a big puncher like Lawal, nice counter again. He's starting to get hit home with some of these right hands. The thing about being a big puncher like Lawal is sometimes you tend to skip the setup process, the setting up the shots process, because you want to just get it in there and land it. But with some poise, some experience, experience will bring that poise. Jervier sometimes has too much poise. He doesn't throw enough punches.
Well, in all fairness, he's throwing less in this round than he did in the first round. That's because he's been clipped a couple of times. I'd like to see Lawal maybe just bend his knees, just maybe dart some of those longer straight shots into the body. Listen, there's no need for thorough autopsies. He's just coasting through round 2.
And another thing about it is when you throw every shot hard, it's going to make the guy get into survival mode a little bit more quick. The thing about setting up a guy like this, you want to maybe throw some lighter shots. Throw some lighter shots so you give him the courage to throw some shots and you can counter him. Oh.
Back of the head, back of the head. Stay over there, stay over there.
4.
So he was clipped there at the end. He was clipped there. He was clipped there, Paul. It's top of the head, back of the head, but he was clipped, so he went over. Now, but that's still a knockdown. Technically, it's still a knockdown.
Technically, is it? I don't know. Did the ref call it a knockdown?
No, I don't think he did, because he genuinely touched down at the belt. I classify.
Oh no, that's not a knockdown.
But the thing is,
pushed down.
If he's hit and he falls down, and if he's not walked,
let's see if the first shot landed. I don't know.
I think the right half lands.
No, I think he's just pushed.
But the thing, before he goes down, he's hit behind the head. So it's an illegal shot. So it shouldn't be a knockdown.
Yeah. Should not be a knockdown.
I just think Lawal was just getting to him a little bit in that last 20 or 30 seconds. And in fact, it's interesting that Lawal looks more focused now. Round 3 coming up, Paulie.
I want to see Lawal show a little bit more poise this round. I want to see Lawal maybe use some feints, maybe use some touching shots to kind of draw some shots out of Jervier so he can counter him. Maybe use his jab a little bit. I want to see a little bit more versatility from Lawal. We know he's a big puncher. We know he can shoot some hard shots. I want to see if he's able to open up this guy, Jervier. There's a touch and jab there. Just let's see if he can open this guy up a little bit.
And of course, one thing that happens when you throw touching shots is your shoulders come down. You relax a little bit more. Once you relax a little bit more, you can let your hands go better. So loading up is one big thing. You know, looking tense and letting those big shots go is one thing. He needs, without a doubt, just to relax, just touch. Just keep backing Jervier up towards each corner, showing shots, maybe a little feint, and then bring the shots in. No more big bowling right hands, no more big overhand rights.
And I'll tell you something else. He's putting pressure on Jervier. Cut the ring off. It'll make Jervier feel that pressure a little bit more.
I like Mikael Lawal. I know that 3 of his 12 contests came that night. That's last summer, that hot night when he won cruiserweight. Didn't have it all his own way that particular night. He won the BOXXER tournament. Then he is, in my opinion, he's a good 10 rounds fight away from moving into the domestic mix. He's got in this country. He's a good 10-round fight away.
He's got qualities that make him a danger. If he can put the entire package together a little bit, you know, maybe show a little bit more versatility. ability. He'll scare a lot of guys. I'm telling you, even before he gets in the ring with them, tell you he's going to be a guy that people look at and say, okay, this guy's dangerous. Because just off the power alone, it already makes him a danger to deal with.
And I know from people that are in and out of the Stonebridge gym, which is no longer near the Stonebridge estate, it's actually moved just slightly further north in northwest London. He has a great engine, Paulie. You know, he will be a busy fighter over 10 and 12 rounds. Over championship distance, he will still be a busy fighter.
See, I saw Lawal use that feint. You could tell it's still something foreign to him. You could tell it's still something that he's got to get used to, because he got a reaction from the feint, but then he didn't react. So it's almost like he threw the feint, but he doesn't know what to do afterwards yet. So it's still some things that a little off balance there. It's still some things that, you know, he can improve off of his style. But again, with the base of power that he has, if you can add that versatility to you, it really makes him dangerous. Good little exchange here. Good exchange there, both guys.
That was a great little move there from Ossie Jervier. He saw that Lawal was off balance and had stumbled and tripped, and then Jervier jumped on him, trapped him in a corner because Mikael Lawal wasn't as set and wasn't as poised as he had been. I like these little feints. I like some of the movements. I like some of the less powerful shots. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and you see Jervier actually uses some feints. He uses some different looks. But, you know, but he's not the busiest guy, but he gives you that journeyman feel. You know, he'll put you in some tough spots if you fall asleep during the round, and he'll keep you honest if you overexert yourself. There he goes again, Jervier trying to trade back.
So another round, straightforward round for Mikael Lawal, having to think and actually finally showing a little bit of thought. And I'm going to pick up on something you said, Paulie. It's a brilliant observation, which is what I'd expect sitting next to you. There was a beautiful line you used there, that he's showing the feints, but then he's not throwing the punch. And he's getting used to it. He is still very much a work in progress.
Well, here's the thing, Bunty. You don't always have to punch off the feint, but if you get the reaction you're looking for, you got to punch. See, the feints are there to, you know, disassemble a guy's style, maybe throw him off a little bit. They also give you certain reactions. So if you're looking for certain reactions, you get it. You got to react off that. Lawal showed that he did. There's a good exchange there from the previous round. And it shows Jervier, also a live guy. This was some digging shots from Lawal to the body.
Round 4.
Again, look, Jervier not the busiest, but when he gets in that exchanges, he's not shy about throwing back.
There was a point there, there were 2 points in fact in that round, where Lawal set him up with a jab through a right hand, both of which missed, but then the left hook only just missed. If that left hook crashes home, Paulie, if that third punch were to crash home, I think, or I fear,
of course,
Ossie Jervier, especially now as we're moving into the fourth round.
But I do like the way Jervier puts himself in danger. He's not just completely there to survive. He picks his spots maybe once or twice around, and he'll get in there, and he won't be shy about exchanging and even keeping Lawal honest. He's got him against the ropes here. Let's see what he does.
See, even then, I like that, Paulie. Lawal's thought, you know, I'll have a little sit on the ropes, I'll show him a shot, and I'll see if I can bring him in. And Jervier goes in. For the amount of cruiserweight journeymen, and I agree with you, survivors stroke losers, he isn't in that category. He's in the higher echelon of that journeyman. You know, he has got that bit of old school about him, Jervier. Yeah. Don't show him anything, don't get cut, don't show him a weakness. Yeah. He'll jump on you.
And also, you know, an old school journeyman understands this about guys who are still on the come up. They've not always got the most experience in rounds. So maybe sometimes it's, let me get through some rounds. Doesn't matter if I'm losing them. Let me get through some rounds. And let me figure out if this guy knows what he's doing as I get him to the later rounds. Maybe he'll give me a couple of mistakes I can take advantage of. And Jervier strikes me as that kind of guy. He'll pick his 1 or 2 spots around where he can throw a couple of punches and even exchanges, make himself dangerous. So keep Lawal honest.
And in a busy boxing business, the one thing Jervier's trying to do is not get hurt, not get stopped, because he might be out again in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Yeah. And he doesn't want to be going into that, even if he's not stopped with too many cuts or bruises, or after a particularly hard evening. I tell you what I was impressed with there, Lawal throwing short shots from close. Paul, that was quite good.
Yeah, but Lawal, again, you can see as he notices his big shots are not affecting Jervier. He's throwing big shots. He's landing them on the gloves, but still he's landing them. So, you know, he's gonna win these rounds based on being busy. But as he sees they're not affecting Jervier, Jervier is still walking him down as he sees here. How is Lawal gonna react psychologically as the rounds wear on? And this is the kind of things that a journeyman like Jervier brings out of a prospect. You know, you get to see some of the qualities and some of the things that the prospect is learning or maybe not learning as the rounds wear on. Because you see Jervier, so Lawal's throwing some major shots, and Jervier is walking him down now.
Suddenly, with 30 seconds left in the 4th round, with Mikael Lawal winning just about every single second of the fight so far, we noticed that for the last minute or so, it's Jervier who's been walking Lawal down. It's Jervier who's making Lawal do the thinking. And I've got to be honest with you, I'd like to see a little bit more from Lawal at this point. This is the best learning round of Mikael Lawal's career so far. It's going to be the end of the 4th round. Well, there, just in the last 30 seconds, there's no danger. He didn't lose the last 30 seconds. I'm not losing my mind, but for the last 30 seconds, he had to think. Ossie Jervier was getting his legs close, he was getting his hands close, he wasn't necessarily letting his hands go, but he was pushing Lawal back, and that meant that Lawal had to work. And once Lawal had to work from those corners, that makes it interesting. And we've got 2 rounds left, 2 good rounds left. Go on, Paulie.
And I'll tell you something. Another thing a veteran will bring out of a prospect, when he walks a guy down like this, you see the decision-making prowess of a prospect. You don't always have to throw so many punches when the guy's walking you down. You can also use some with your show. You can also do some trickery, because sometimes the veteran is going to make you punch yourself out. And I noticed that Jervier in that round was making Lawal throw a bunch of punches as he was walking him down, and you get you winded this way.
And none of them were landing.
None of them were landing. Yes, okay, you're going to win the round based on being busy, but what Jervier is seeing is you don't know how to deal with pressure any other way except fighting. And sometimes there's other ways you can deal with pressure so that you can conserve energy over the course of a longer fight. So let's see. Again, I'm curious to see how the rounds open up. I don't think Lawal is in danger of losing, but I'm curious to see his decision-making prowess.
You know what? I'm absolutely with you, Paulie, and I think that 4th round of that contest there, this contest we're watching here, was the best round so far of Lawal's boxing career. Because it's the first one where he's not been in control. He's not dominated. He's had to do some thinking. He's adjusted his feet, he's created a bit of distance, and he's using his jab in this round. Is that pleasing you, Paulie? Yeah, it's pleasing. Obviously, he's going to look for a big shot. He's a power puncher, but I want to see how he learns to navigate the rounds, because if you throw so many hard shots constantly, and they don't land cleanly, and you got a guy who starts to walk you down, you start to feel that mental pressure, that physical stress, that physical fatigue, and that mental pressure. And again, Jervier's trying it again here. Let's see. And again, if your only decision every time you're in trouble is to fight, you're going to spend your energy a lot faster. Guys can give you that illusion of being in trouble just by walking you down, even if they aren't throwing punches. And Jervier does that a lot. He walks you down without throwing punches. He gives you the illusion that you're more in trouble. So you got to figure that out and not always throw a million punches at him, because he's looking for that. Well, as you're going into rounds 4, 5, and 6, those are rounds on the clock, and those are rounds where Lawal's having to do a little bit of thinking. He caught him with a good left hook there, but even that was half covered by Jervier's
I want to see this right here. I want to see that. Keep him at the jab. Yeah, I want to see this right here. I want to see.
Relax, jab.
I want to see. Sometimes he's a guy who's not going to go away. Show me how you deal with him. This guy's not going to go away. You're going to win the fight, but show me that you know how to navigate your way around the round.
Other than just throwing punches.
Yes, other than just throwing hard punches. You know, you use your jab, double him up, touch him, snap a couple of hard shots in there. Control the round like a veteran.
So if we're going to be super critical here of Mikael Lawal, who's won every second really of the fight apart from 30 seconds.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's critical. I'd say it's
observation.
Constructive criticism.
Okay. So he's leaving himself there sometimes?
He's got potential to get better there. It's just about his decision making. He's got potential to get better. Because I'm not saying anything I don't see in him that he can't do.
But this is a good occasion against a man like Ossie Jervier, a man that's going to be in front of you, the man that's pushing you. It's a good occasion for you to move to your left, move to your right. Maybe bring something up through the middle. Maybe bend your knees and dart in a shot straight to the middle. Or maybe drop the right hand behind Jervier's gloves.
All right here, center ring, control the fight with the jab. He hasn't thrown a jab in about 20 seconds. There's one. At center ring, shoot the jab. Control the fight with the jab. It'll keep you resting. It'll keep you in control. It'll keep Jervier from doing anything crazy, and then you can also rest yourself for a few seconds enough to then throw a big combination if you want to, while you blind them with the jab.
You know what? Too many boxers meet journeymen that don't try. Ossie Jervier is making Mikael Lawal work.
Last round, Mikael.
Mikael Lawal there, another round in the bag. But you know, we have to pull up things that we see, and the simple thing we're seeing here is that Mikael Lawal could do this, he could do that, he could do that, and that's only right because he's a man who's moving up the British rankings. And if he doesn't know now, you don't want to learn later, you want to learn now. It's that simple.
Mikael, pick it up a bit now.
Just start laying off your backhand.
Paulie,
Double jab right.
he looks happy in the corner, and so he should be.
And here's that left hook.
That was that left hook.
Left hook he landed. It was a little bit cupped, like you said, Bunsey. So some of it was a push, but
Just a bit of power.
Nice little double combination there. The left uppercut, left hook. You know, brought it around nice.
Sixth and final round.
Let's see here how much energy Lawal has in the last round. You know, you got to be careful with Jervier too, because he has not expended a lot of energy, so he has a lot of energy left. So you don't want to put yourself too much out there, because 5 out of his 6 knockouts were pretty big knockouts. You know, some devastating looking knockouts. So Lawal doesn't want to walk into anything big, because that's kind of what Jervier's been looking for all night.
Would you expect Ossie Jervier to be a bit more aggressive in this round, just to leave a bit of a mark, or would you expect Ossie Jervier to do what he's done the last 2 or 3 rounds, put a bit of pressure on and look good losing? What would you expect?
No, I think a guy like Jervier, he's been here too many times, so I don't expect him to go crazy looking for the win. But Lawal, feeling the pressure to maybe look good, is in danger of maybe overexerting himself and walking into something. So let's see, because Lawal also has the fight in the bag, so he's got to be careful not to look for too much. Nice combination there. But again, Jervier is looking for you to open yourself up so you can throw something big.
You know, I look at Lawal, and I just think he's a good 10-round fight away from being a really good fighter. And then once he gets that 10-round, a competitive one, and there's about half a dozen men, there's 5 or 6 men in front of him in the British rankings. There's another 5 or 6 below him in the British rankings that I would put him with. Once he gets that 10 rounds, that's when he'll become a better boxer. Imagine, you know, an Ossie Jervier that comes back at him, an Ossie Jervier that tests him, an Ossie Jervier that makes him work for the 10 rounds. Yeah. That's what propels a fighter. He's 25 now, Mikael Lawal. This is his 13th fight. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, he moves on. I like him. I still have him as one of my top. I like him as one of my top prospects in the country. He's in my top 10.
He's got a lot of tools to work with that are really something that you want in your prospect. You know, so the potential is there. I wouldn't say he even has to physically mature. I'd say more mentally mature.
Absolutely.
Because physically, you know, he's got all the tools there.
He just needs to put a little bit more brain behind the punches. The punches are there, a little bit more.
And also brain behind navigating his way through certain moves.
Absolutely. He's the kind of kid that needs work in the gym that's in his ear rolls, not necessarily stuff that he has to do, stuff he has to think about, having to talk to him, working on his feet, working on little moves around the bag, not just whacking a bag, not doing those ridiculous pads that are so popular at the moment, working on feints, working on landing shots. Lovely, that was one of the best moves he's done all fight. He's thrown a jab, he's shown a right hand, he's moved back.
Leave yourself some space.
Leave yourself space, Mikael.
Working, pull them arms out, don't push him against the right, you're pushing against him.
It's a good performance this by Lawal. A good learning fight, Paulie.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can get a guy who forces you to go rounds, make you think a little bit, he's done his job as an opponent.
So 6 rounds completed, the opening contest here inside the BT bubble. BOXXER It's the super middleweights tonight, a new format tournament. Just the 4 boxers, 2 semi-finals, 3 rounds of 3 minutes each round, and then straight into a final of 5 3-minute rounds. And 2 other fights, 2 supporting contests. Mikael Lawal, a BOXXER champion. He won the cruiserweights with 3 fights in 1 night last summer up near Manchester. And in the other contest, which will be coming up, it's the king of all Albanian boxing, Florian Marku, a man who would single-handedly sell 5,000 tickets. If this was a venue that had seats, he would sell 5,000 tickets. I joked with him when I was talking to him about how many Albanians might be in the car park outside. He said, "Don't joke, Steve." So we stopped joking. Lawal and Ossie Jervier, contest number 1, a straightforward routine piece of scoring, but a good journeyman. Ossie Jervier, a good journeyman, as Paulie pointed out, a real journeyman, not a survivor. We have a full decision, confirmation of what we've seen. Let's go to the MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, we go to the referee's scorecard. Kieran McCann scores about 60 to 54 in favor of your winner and still undefeated, Mikael Lawal.